and lack. We got plenty guns, and you better run. Dodging hollows, that shit won't be fun. They know Lil Laser smoke on Zaza. I can't do no 4 feet. They think Lil Laser finna pop, now everybody know me. Pussy say he got smoke with Lil Fast. We got more shit than police.
Today we got the victims of my well-known glorious king, Stephen Curry. The fucking king of basketball, bro. Greatest player of all time, bro. Let's start with the LeBron debate, bro.
Stephen Curry is viewed as one of the greatest players of all time.
He is the greatest player of all time.
He's also seen as a very humble guy who rarely gets into
He
fight.
is. I know that personally, bro. I know that personally. He let me borrow his car one time when I broke down. Real good guy.
With other players on the court. But there has been a select few who tried to get under Curry's skin. And players on the court. But there has been a select
This nigga got a mohawk beanie.
Few who tried to get under Curry's skin, and they end up paying the price.
He's a fierce competitor, I'll tell you that. So don't get fooled by that smile when he come up here.
He's a true competitor. They think he a little light-skinned dude, but he like a real competitor.
Most of the time when people are so good or something so perfect, so to speak, people don't like that, and that's exactly what you get with Steph.
And by the end of the video, you'll see why it's not the best idea to go against the greatest point guard of all time.
The greatest player of all time, he meant to say. He meant to say player. See, he put the P, I guess autocorrect pointed to point guard for some reason, but he meant to say player.
Starting with the man whose whole career has been cursed by Steph Curry, Chris Paul. Today, there is no doubt that Stephen Curry is a better player than CP3, winning 4 rings and 2 MVPs, while Paul has none.
Unanimous
However,
MVP too.
it was not always seen this way. In fact, many thought Chris Paul would finish with a better career. In 2008, a 22-year-old Chris Paul was the top point guard in the league, being selected to the All-NBA first team and coming second in the MVP race, while Steph Curry was just a skinny sharpshooter from Davidson, preparing for the 2009 draft. So after his insane 2008 season, Chris Paul was set to play in the Beijing Olympics. But before that, he helped his Olympic teammate LeBron James with his training camp, which had the top college players in the country. And guess who was there? Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
So little did Chris Paul know at the time, but he was training a player that would make his life hell in years to come. Nevertheless, at the time, Steph posed no threat to him, and the two shared a great relationship.
No, he was always a threat to him. Don't get it fooled.
Before Steph's rookie year, he went on a family trip to Disney World with Chris Paul's family, even attending each other's weddings.
That's because he fucked his
was
wife.
at his wedding. I think him and his wife was at our wedding, but we've known each other for a very, very long time, man.
But then Curry started to become really
Look
good
at the
on
muscles.
court, averaging 24 points and 9 assists on insane efficiency. The sudden rise for Steph was great for his career, but other players hated him for it, especially Chris Paul. Everybody on the Clippers, Chris Paul was one of those guys. Chris Paul was somebody Curry looked up to. Chris Paul used to dominate that matchup. Chris Paul was supposed to be next in line to win a championship. Then suddenly, it was Steph. That's another relationship where Curry was like, oh, I look up to you. And suddenly, there is a division versus Steph. There's a lot of those. During the 2014 playoffs, we would see Chris Paul get the best of Curry for the very last time, when the Clippers bet the Warriors during the first round in 7 games. And since then, Curry has gone on to win 4 championships, while CP is still chasing his first. And to make it worse for Chris Paul, when he finally had a team in Houston that were on the verge of winning a ring, he got stopped by Curry once again.
Our offense was so potent. Like, we was just nice, like clicking. Who gave us problems, Bugs?
Steph fucking Curry.
Golden State.
And this is
No, it wasn't Golden State. It was Steph Curry, nigga. Your bald head ass.
Saw CP's frustration come to life, as in the 2019 playoffs, when the Warriors were up against the Rockets in the West semi-finals, Curry wanted to get some shots up the night before Game 6. However, Chris Paul caught wind of the situation. So when Curry arrived at the court, there was Chris Paul putting shots up. Curry offered that they both practice.
That's a dick run. That's a dick run.
Just half court, but Paul wasn't having it. Then Curry was kicked off the Toyota Center court.
I didn't know he did that. I would have fought him for that. Where he at? I'll fight that nigga right now. Where he at? That's pure disrespect.
And by halftime of Game 6, Chris Paul's pettiness looked like it was working, as Curry would go scoreless in the first 2 quarters. However, in the second half, he would have one of the best performances of his career, scoring
Dropping
33
33
points and getting the win over the Rockets.
But I gotta ask you about the whole deal. You kicking Steph off the court. Folks said you booted him off the court. That actually happened.
No, that never happened. But it was a good story.
Yeah, it was a great story.
Yeah, me and Steph actually talked the next day. You know what I mean? So it's no offense, but it's the media. You know what I mean?
No, that's the other media.
Yeah. Me and Steph actually talked on the court before I shot. Like, we was out there and we was kicking it, but it is what it is.
He lying.
And Chris Paul's reputation of lying to the media is pretty much confirmed once you hear what Curry said after Game 6.
Yeah, kick me off the court again, nigga. Yeah. Oh.
Green was closely taking note of the situation between the
I
two
love that
and
shit,
shared his
man.
thoughts on the matter concerning Steph and CP3.
I don't like CP at all. Like, we don't have a good relationship at all, but I respect his hustle and I respect his IQ. He's smart as hell. And and CP was kind of using, like, CP saw Steph coming up, and you know, once you start to get older in this league, you start to realize, like, okay, this guy is coming. Eventually, he may catch me because I'm going to start to decline at some point. And so I would kind of see CP kind of keeping Steph at bay, but yet fucking giving him a stiff arm at the same time. Now, Steph, you know, Steph ain't, you know, Steph is Steph. Like, we all love Steph, right? He ain't
I love Steph.
Like, he ain't got the street part to him.
Yes, he do. He just don't show that side. Yes, he is. He just don't show that side because of how respectful and smart he is. He would rather not bring out the nigga. Like, but nigga Steph, I done seen Steph drop a nigga. Like, come on now.
Confrontational at all. He ain't confrontational.
Exactly. And so with me coming from where I come from and the way I grew up, I'm kind of watching like, yo, he kind of rock with you, Steph, but he kind of don't. He kind of keeping you at bay. And so I took it upon myself to try to create fucking division there.
In 2023,
He a real nigga for that.
when Steph and Chris were matched up, Curry
Get him off,
proceeded to
Curry.
get an N1 basket against CP, then yelling, this
ain't 2014 no more.
The cameras caught Steph saying something to you about this isn't 2014 anymore. I guess after he scored a layup on you.
Shit, I don't know what happened in 2014.
That was the last time you was better than them, nigga.
Did y'all be in the playoffs that year? The Clippers?
That's like 9 years ago. What happened?
And not long after Chris Paul was traded to the Warriors,
Nah, he looked like Desi Banks right there. He look wild. That nigga has no chin.
joining the same guy who has been a major factor in why he has no rings, which has not only affected his career, but also his family, as he stated that his daughter gets bullied at school over his champion-less career.
Good.
My daughter is the sweetest soul you
Good,
ever
that's
meet
good.
in your life, right? The sweetest soul ever in your life, but she's at that age now where at school, kids talk crazy to her, right? So she had a little boy, whatever, at school that said some reckless stuff to her, was like, your daddy ain't never gonna win no championship, right? And my baby is so, she's special. She'll hold it together there, but when she got in the car, she called. And she was upset.
His time in Golden State was short-lived, only lasting one season. But during that time, the two veterans were able to squash any tensions they had, and now have nothing but respect for each other. Although Chris Paul and Steph Curry had the chance to squash their beef when they teamed up in Golden State, the same cannot be said with Ja Morant.
Because
In
Ja Morant is a
2019,
dick rider.
Ja Morant was drafted second overall, and coming out of college, Ja was seen as an explosive.
Bro, that's the only thing he could do, bro. Run and jump, man, bro. And that shit easy, bro. I already said, bro, the nigga jumped higher than Thanos, bro.
Guard with insane athleticism, which made him a breakout star. And once he entered the NBA, it only got better.
That's all he do. And he got more missed posterizers than made. Like, this nigga is not good, bro.
Winning Rookie of the Year. And as
it's way better than Ja Morant.
each year passed, not only did Ja get better, but the Grizzlies did too. By Ja's third season, he was averaging 27 points and 7 assists, and the Memphis Grizzlies were the second best team in the West. However, things weren't going to go too well for Ja and the Grizzlies for too much longer. Even though Ja grew up in a very average American suburb with two loving parents who have always supported his basketball dreams, once he got a taste of that NBA lifestyle, he wanted more, becoming a wannabe gangster. allegedly punching a teenager at his home, threatening a mall security guard, and having one of his friends point a red laser at the Pacers team bus. As the best player on the Grizzlies, his reckless behavior would naturally become part of the team's identity. With the young squad becoming the most egotistical team in the league, Steph and the Warriors
Dylan
had
Brooks
to put
was
them in
always
their
like
place.
that.
The
Dylan Brooks
Warriors
is a
and the
loser.
Grizzlies faced off in the West semifinals. After the Grizzlies' Game 2 win, Ja walked by Curry, stared him down, and said, "We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun." Then, after the Grizzlies pretty much destroyed the Warriors in Game 5, Ja led the Grizzlies in 7 chant.
Didn't we win a ring that year? How many rings Ja Morant got?
But by the end of the series, the Warriors made it through, winning in 6 games, and Ja tried to play it cool while talking to Draymond. But we all know how he was really feeling. The next year, Ja still hadn't lost his attitude, saying something that still haunts him to this day.
We fine in the West.
After a fan suggested that a Grizzlies-Warriors Christmas Day matchup is all but guaranteed, Ja then said, "Nah, in the M, bring him to the trenches." Draymond responded to Ja, "The champs play at home, young. Christmas Day. I'm coming to you then. Tell him book that shit. I'm on your block."
What is he talking about, bro?
And even though Curry didn't play on Christmas Day against the Grizzlies, it's definitely worth mentioning because the Grizzlies got absolutely humiliated.
Fucking dog,
This
bro.
game was expected to be a blowout, as the Warriors were short-handed. No Curry and no Wiggins. But for the Grizzlies, they were in full strength. This didn't stop the Warriors though, with Draymond trolling Dylan Brooks as he misses a
Trash.
free throw. Clay staring over Dylan Brooks,
Yeah,
and Draymond
Clay.
blocking Ja and then screaming at him. The Warriors won by 14, finally putting an end to their rivalry. Although Curry wasn't as involved in this rivalry, the next one is widely regarded as the greatest of all time. Today, LeBron and Curry are both great friends, from friends to enemies to friends again. And it all started...
Yeah, we was friends, bro. We was friends at first, and then it's a picture of me. I'm gonna show y'all a picture of me, LeBron, and Curry, bro, just chilling on the balcony, bro, looking at what we created, bro. Amazing, bro.
When Steph was playing at Davidson. During his stellar play for Davidson in 2008, Curry caught the attention of LeBron James, who came to watch one of his games. And in this game, Steph dropped 44 points, which definitely impressed LeBron. But LeBron still had no idea that he was watching the very player who was going to stop him from winning multiple championships.
Yeah, Stephen Curry. Yeah.
You think he'll be good in the league?
I think so. I think he knows how to play the game of basketball. Of course, being the son of a former NBA player, Dale Curry, he was taught well how to play the game of basketball. So he has the talent.
Quick as hell.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I was impressed. Played really good against a very, very, very tough defensive mind in Wisconsin. And I think we all know how tough Wisconsin defenses are. He shattered them.
Like Chris Paul, LeBron was friendly with Steph early in his career. As the night before they faced off for the first time, LeBron invited Steph to his house. When you're on the West Coast, you only get one trip to Cleveland. So I'm in the hotel, night before the game, and he hit me and was like, "You want to come to the house?" And his house was in Akron. So I hopped in a taxi, head down to LeBron's house. Hung out with him that night. He had a little bowling alley in his basement. Did that. Bryce and Bronny were running around the house, little kids.
The relationship started off great at the beginning. Not to say it was bad at any point, but it was great when I was
In NCAA's, right?
exactly. And he came to a couple games.
Bro, I gotta interview Curry, bro. I gotta interview Curry, bro. I got to, bro. I gotta hoop with Curry, bro.
And then he invited me over his house my rookie year before we played Cleveland, and he was in Akron.
But as Curry started to get better and better, the relationship between the two began to crumble. In 2015, he didn't just take the MVP award, he also took the championship. And in the Warriors' first game back in Cleveland the following season, Curry was asked about being back in the building and his memories from winning the championship, saying, "Obviously, walking in the locker room, it'll be good memories. Hopefully it still smells a little bit like champagne." But the Cavaliers team didn't like this and viewed it as disrespectful.
When you finally hit a horn sound, we in Cleveland like celebrating chains was off. Like, all right, this. Who knows what's about to happen from here?
You know what's dope when they went back and played next year?
He said he smelled that.
You said
He
that?
said it.
Oh, yeah.
He said it.
Locker room still smell like champagne.
Zach got a little bit of asshole shit talking in him, but he just covers it up with the good image. Yeah. That shit was slick as fuck. Like, I was smell like shit. I was like, oh, he's an asshole. That shit was funny as a motherfucker.
The following season, Curry snatched the MVP from LeBron again, but in a way we have never seen before. Becoming
131
the first
votes
MVP
out of
in league
131
history, something
votes,
that
bro.
LeBron narrowly missed in 2013 by just one vote.
I also had an opportunity too to be. I would have been the first unanimous MVP.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Shut your bum ass up.
Yeah.
Curry's brand started to explode, passing LeBron in jersey and shoe sales, and there was a lot of tension observed between the two. Even people close to James often scoffed at Curry's rising star. And the resentment LeBron had for Curry would be on full display after
Why
the
he
Cavaliers
smacking his
came
head
back
like
from
that?
the
Who is
resentment
that?
LeBron had for
He
Curry
don't even got a jersey on.
would be on full
Why is he smacking?
display
Why is he
after the
smacking his
Cavaliers
head like
came
that?
back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the 73-9 Warriors in the finals. After pulling off that historic
That was a horrible time, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I cried that night. I cried like shit.
championship run, LeBron made it his life's mission to troll the Warriors, wearing an Ultimate Warriors shirt after arriving back to Cleveland. And when he hosted a Halloween party with his Cavs teammates, he had some interesting decorations that included a 3-1 sign and tombstones that had Steph and Clay's name on them. When asked about the party, Curry said, "I'm just going to keep it quiet." But after this, LeBron would never win a ring against Curry again.
Never! Fuck you talking about, nigga? Putting a belt on his bitch ass. Look at him checking out.
And the Warriors,
sweet ass nigga trying to dap
would beat
everybody up.
LeBron
Bro, I would
in
have
their
looked at
next
that
two
nigga in his shit.
matchups in the finals.
I'm not even dapping you up. Fuck you, LeBron.
For those 4 straight years, Cleveland versus Golden State, like if you wasn't wearing wine and gold or you wasn't wearing yellow and blue, like it was literally like East Coast versus West Coast. It was like a rap beef. Golden State owned the West Coast and the Cavs owned the East Coast. It was like a rap beef.
Then watching our 4 years, like the finals brings out, it's like the crescendo, obviously, of everything that they just talked about. And
Look at him, bro. I never heard that word before,
the
bro.
finals brings out, it's like the crescendo.
I gotta look up that word, bro. Crescendo. I gotta look that up, bro. How do you spell that shit, bro? Crescendo. Oh my God, bro. His vocabulary is so, bro.
Crescendo, obviously, of everything that they just talked about, and like that idea of like the rising tides, raises all ships is you carry that all year, like off-season workouts. You might think it's just a pure, I'm just here working on my game, but in the back of your mind, his face is in your head. Kyrie's face, like you're thinking about who you're gonna have to beat to get to the ultimate goal, and you can't shake it. And in the moment, it does mess with you a little bit because it can change your attitude on a day-to-day basis. Something can trigger you for no reason, but it brings the best out of you too over the course of the year. And I wouldn't trade those experiences for nothing. Because
Curry should be sitting in the middle. But yeah, I understand everything he's saying, bro. And he well-spoken gentleman, bro. Amazing person, bro.
It's the ultimate, competition. It's the ultimate adrenaline. It's the ultimate test of who you are as a person. And
yeah, he should write poetry. No bullshit, bro. He should write poetry, bro. This is amazing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I could literally, bro, give him his own podcast, bro. I would listen to that shit and go to sleep, bro.
It's something we'll cherish for a long time, just because of how much and how long we carry that, for sure.
And during their intense matchups throughout the years, they showed how intense these games were.
NBA pettiness is, I don't want to be the sacrificial lamb for your leadership. Like, come on, man, that's messed up.
Making their finals record against each other 3-1. However, since the two stars have become older and more mature, they constantly show respect to one another, playing the All-Star game together and for Team USA in the Olympics. No matter whose side you're on, we can all agree that they have one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And when they're both out of the league in a few years' time, that's when we'll realize how much they meant to the game.
Okay.
However, Curry and LeBron being the best...
Curry looks so sexy in that blue and white, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. It brings out The true Curry, bro. LeBron looked good in that purple too. I ain't gonna lie.
Players of their generation, it only makes sense that they had a great rivalry. However, one player who is nowhere near as good as these two, but continues to trash talk Steph Curry, is Jaylen Brown. When the Warriors faced off against the Celtics in 2017,
and we see all how that went. Enjoy your last win.
Curry did something to rookie Jaylen Brown that we don't see often, pointing and talking trash. After Curry put Jaylen Brown in a blender and hit this three to end the fourth quarter, he then started pointing at Brown, saying, "I own your ass." Then signaled with his hand that he was talking too much. But the fact that Curry rarely gets this heated, Jaylen Brown must have said something, right? Well, according to Jaylen Brown, no. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't open my mouth. He hit a good shot. It was cute. Let's keep playing basketball. And also added, that was disrespectful. We'll see them again. But other players in the league have noted Brown engages in on-court trash talk. Just listen to what JJ Redick had to say.
When we played in London, Jalen was guarding me for that game. At one point in the second half, I'm going to cuss on your show, I'm sorry, but he called me I looked at him, I was like, I don't play that. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And
he's a bitch. Jaylen Brown is a bitch.
Done with Jaylen Brown. As in the 2022 finals, the Warriors beat the Celtics.
I can't wait for the NBA to come back, bro. I'm putting my money on Steph Curry, bro. I'm putting all my money on Steph Curry, bro.
Curry winning the finals MVP, having one of the best series of his career.
Yeah, Steph Curry is really good.
He's amazing.
If you guys haven't noticed.
Oh, I've been noticed.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball unbelievably. You know, you've been watching it, playing against it.
It's almost godly.
I feel like he's taking it up a notch a little bit.
Not only was Curry dominant in the series, but he talked a whole lot of trash.
Excuse me.
When he hit this three over Brown, then ran straight over to the Celtics bench and yelled, "I own this place." Or while the Warriors were down 2-1, Curry said this to the Celtics bench.
So we sitting there, and he just like, enjoy y'all last win. Drop the mic. That was game 3. And I was just like us? Like it's 2-1. Like, what you mean? Like, I'm sitting here like this. I'm like, man, what size am I? Like, I need my ring size.
Yeah.
It was
Bro, he couldn't lose, bro. He couldn't lose that series.
He said that, and I was just like,
what the fuck happened here?
Bro. He couldn't lose that series.
He said, then I was just like,
nigga slid on the court like a penguin.
And like in my head, I'm thinking like this kept me up at night. I'm like, did he? I'm like, nah, he ain't say that.
If you thought Jaylen Brown would have learned his lesson to not rile up Steph Curry, you'd be wrong. In a matchup between the Warriors and the Celtics in 2023, Curry was playing terrible, missing shots, turning the ball over, and getting blocked, racking up only 10 points by halftime. By the third, he committed his 4th foul. And to make matters worse,
It's
Jaylen
not
Brown
even a
did
foul,
by the third,
bro. The refs be dick riding.
He committed his 4th foul. And to make matters worse, Jaylen Brown did this.
Brown again, hunting Curry, playing with 4, draws the foul and scores. Again, hunting Curry, playing.
What foul? They just be blowing the whistle, bro.
Draws the foul and scores and says he's too little. 5 fouls against Steph Curry. Jaylen Brown is cooking.
But Jaylen Brown hadn't realized what he had just done. He's thinking he just secured the game for the Celtics, put him up by 12, and gave Curry his 5th foul. Even the Celtics Twitter page got ahead of themselves and posted this. But all of this would come back to haunt Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, because all he did was poke the bear. What was once a 17-point lead, Curry led the Warriors to a 6-point victory, scoring 20 points in the 4th quarter and overtime, while Jaylen Brown only scored 4.
Exactly.
Apart from these few
Putting
beefs,
fucking belt.
Curry has had a few short back and forths with a number of players. And one of these times is when he embarrassed Patrick Beverley.
fucking
Pat
Beverley.
Bev and Steph
Yes,
Curry
yes.
do have a bit of a history, with numerous times where they clashed on the
Fuck
court.
off.
Because Pat Bev's role as a player is trying to get under players' skin by talking trash, exaggerated defense, even injuring opponents. And Curry was no exception, although Steph didn't think this worked on him.
What did you notice what Patrick Beverley does to try to get under your skin, and how do you try to handle that in past matchups?
His skin is so clear, bro. I might gotta get and his hairline is so straight. I might gotta get his regimen.
Just play basketball. That's what we're out in the court to do. Antics and all that kind of stuff is likely to happen. Nothing.
Such a nice
distracts me
beard
from
too,
playing
by the way.
basketball. So Historically speaking, it hasn't worked, and I'm going to continue to again, just play basketball.
When Kawhi Leonard and Paul George signed with the Clippers in 2019 and were looked at as one of the top teams in the league, Patrick Beverley was so confident in the Clippers that when he was matched up with Steph Curry, he told him, "You had the last 5 years. The next 5 years are mine." Steph replied with, "Aren't you 31? And as we all know, Patrick Beverley's statement aged like milk, as the Clippers played well below expectations in their 5-year run, not even making it to the finals once, mainly because Kawhi and PG hardly played. Meanwhile, Curry and the Warriors won a championship in 2022. However, Pat Bev...
Look how you hold the trophy, bro. Look how you hold the trophy. Alright, this video almost over anyway. But look how you hold the trophy, bro. Tell me that ain't me. Come on now, bro.
Curry and the Warriors won a championship in 2022. However, Pat Bev does deny saying this.
The famed quote of Pat Bev saying, "The next 5 years are mine," never was said and never happened.
Nah, just Clippers. We just put the monster team together as we thought, right? As we thought, looking back on it. It was like, no, you had your time. Like, now it's time to switch it up. It wasn't never like a 5 years or, come on. You know. But it was good. So, you know me, I'm like, okay, all right, let me run with this. Like, okay, cool. Like, the internet is the internet. And it played out the way it's supposed to play.
And Patrick Beverley described how hard it is to guard Steph.
Do guys in the NBA go to sleep early the night before playing the Phoenix Suns? Hell no.
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 You only did it against Steph Curry.
Did you talk about Chris Paul individually?
Chris Paul individually.
Okay.
No. I'm going to Steak 44 over there in Phoenix. I'm going to have me a nice little wine, probably sweat it out, and the pregame shoot around and get ready for Chris Paul. Steph Curry, I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock. Mom, don't call me. My girl, don't call me. I'm locked in right now.
But it might come as a surprise that Pat Bev and Steph Curry have actually been friends since they were kids.
You know, Steph like a brother. I don't really talk about relationships with, the people I do have in the NBA, but, freshman year in college, roommates, USA team roommates, sophomore year in college, Paul Pierce camp, roommates, LeBron James camp, roommates. These are things people don't know, but, we've been knowing each other since we were pups, so it's crazy. I got kids, he got kids, and finally talking about the boy he had, he been trying to have, and, so.
If we have learned something in this video, it's that when you trash talk Steph Curry, you're going to regret it. And Kevin Porter Jr. found this out the hard way.
Yeah.
A 21-year-old Kevin Porter Jr.
He was talking that
decided
shit,
to
thought he
stare
was
down
like
Curry
that.
while he was in a slump. But all he did was poke the bear.
Nigga staring down Curry like he out there
Stare
putting
down
in work. It's the third quarter. He got 11 points. Like, nigga, what the fuck? If you don't get a fucking triple-double, you bum trash ass.
Curry while he was in a slump. But all he did was poke the bear.
Definitely bring another level of competitiveness when fun stuff like that happens during the game. I take it all as entertainment, and sometimes you need a little boost.
The time Kevin Porter stared at Curry, Steph only had 16 points in the third. And for the
Had
last
way
month,
more points
he
than
had
that
been shooting
trash-ass
29% from three. But after that incident, Steph went ballistic, scoring 24 points. 21 of those came in the fourth, helping the Warriors seal the victory over the Rockets. And since we're on the subject of trash talk, one player who talks a whole lot of trash, but most of the time gets humbled, is Julian Newman.
Julian Newman is some cold shit. Why is he on my screen? He's not a basketball player. He's a short nigga that touches a basketball. It's a difference. Let's go wrap it up, though.
Yeah, we're gonna do that time with each other. What's up with me, nigga? I crack at your mouth. Got so many sticks, we got drinks in the cup.